Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I have a blank, which is good, and I have an S, which is good. I don't have any vowels. However, if my opponent plays one vowel, then I could have a bingo. I think blurters is good. But is there anything else? I only need my opponent to play a U or an E for blurters. I think there may well be another bingo, but I'm not seeing it. Certainly if my opponent changes, I don't have a bingo, and I will be changing also. Okay, no U or E. I do have an A, and if I have a bingo, then the blank will be a vowel. So I need to imagine an A with this rack, and the blank as an A. Can't see anything. An A and an E, so an anagram of blarters, which isn't good. Can't see anything. An A and an I. Can't see anything. An A and an O. No. An A and a U. No. An A and a Y. No. Okay, so I can't see a bingo with this rack. I can play Blart, which doesn't offer much to my opponent and sorts my rack out 15 points. And that is a much better rack. I am pretty sure there's going to be a choice of bingos here. So where are the best lanes? Well, column 11, Blart takes an S. So do I have a play with an S in second place? Not that I can see. Now, what about row H, beginning or ending with A? So I have agistors, that's quite good. What about a play ending in A? Well, I don't need to bust a gut to find one of those, since I do have agistors. Now, 32 for my opponent. What's he provided? Well, nothing that offers more than the triple letter play. And I'll play it over here to keep open both sides of the board. Agistors for 77. And I want to keep both sides of the board open to ensure that I always have scoring opportunities. My lead isn't so high that I can benefit from a closed board. So not a great rack, 4 vowels and a Y. A long way from a bingo. A couple of scoring tiles, H and Y. Can't see any way of scoring off the Z. The Z takes nothing in front of it, so I don't have a row D play going over the Z. Nothing goes in front of Abo. IU is good. Now, what about my opponent? Has he provided anything? So, H or Y can go underneath the A, but I'd like to make it a 4-letter play. Something like something like 2 vowels and an H. Just leaves too many vowels for next go. So, I was thinking about Hoya. That doesn't work. So it would work with the O or the U under the G. I can't see anything. I can't see anything above the middle 3 tiles in Zuia. What I could do is play IU here. Well, even better would be U, taking out all 4 of the floaters in agistors and not providing very much in return, although my opponent could have JO, and the rack lead probably as good as I can expect. Or is it? It would be nice to play off 1 more vowel, so something like Bayou. That's not available. I'm going with this. pretty poor. I still have a lead of about 60 points, which is good. That could easily vanish. I've drawn a Q. I have an eye for getting rid of it, but then look at the rest of the rack, pretty grim. QI can play in row H for not very much. Nice play by my opponent. He's only 20 points behind. So, do I struggle manfully on with this rack? Or do I ditch it? I'm not seeing any great Q spots. Although QI does deny my opponent the opportunity of playing in row H, which is a good thing. Just wondering if I've got a non-Q play in column 3. Well, the best I can see is just AH, and then the rack leaves awful. 29 points. Quite a nice score. Well, this is a tricky position. My lead's pretty slender. And the real problem I've got is the rack leave. Row H not particularly dangerous, but it is my only opportunity to dump the Q. Well, I've got cat, that's not very good. Keeping 3 E's. It's hard to change when I've got a nearly 30-point play in column 3. HOR not good. 15 minutes on my clock. Just looking around for anywhere else. Either for my Q or to play off an H with a ton of vowels. Nothing is coming to mind. Really tricky. Not too many bingo lanes on this board. I think I'll change. Or will I? What about HAE? Only 25 points. But I think it's taking out the hottest spot on the board. I still have a spot for QI. The Q's only worth about minus 13. So plus 25 for HAE, I think makes this a better play. I'm going with this. Well, the rack is at least balanced. I haven't been swamped with vowels. I can't see anything beginning with the H. Nothing goes in front of YO. My K goes in front of OR, but I don't have a 2-letter play which works. Through a U, I would have suck. My lead still pretty slender, although a little better than it would have been had I have changed. Now I have Kepi and Pike on my rack and Peek, P-E-K-E, to keep the eye with the Q, but I'm not seeing anywhere great for any of those plays. But this board doesn't really offer very much. Now, opponent has provided a spot for QI. I'm tempted to take it because look at the rack leave. The rack leave is fairly balanced, and I think I'll score well next go. And the Q is always going to be a drag on my bingo prospects if I labour on with it. So is QI above the eye of Icy the only Q spot I have? I think so, and it takes out a useful floater, so 11 points. Not great. Now, my K can go after double E. So I've got Kia, but that's keeping two I's. Not good. The board looking pretty blocked. S and T are floaters, but they are restricted to being very close to the front of a word. The T has to be at the beginning and the S in first or second place. Well, I was going to say that my opponent would have provided an H spot, but of course I played my H. However, my P can go underneath the O. Nothing I've got goes underneath the I apart from the S, and I'm not getting enough points for PSI. Haloid does take an S. I could play Pikes and Blart, or Keppies and Blarts. 30 points, quite good. Turning over tiles with still one blank to come. No other obvious K spots. What about a play beginning with the A, coming down column 4? J-A-I is good. Not seeing anything. G's takes an E, and K can go between O and AY. But I don't have anything to go between E and G, A and G, so that doesn't work quite, which is a shame. Now, my lead has gone. I'm 9 points behind. Keppies has a lot of merit. It sorts out the duplicates in my rack. It scores quite well. Rack leave, dangerous. So what about playing... I was thinking about playing pikeys in the same spot, just to avoid keeping two vowels. Yock is good. I could play eek here. That's keeping two I's. But the vowel consonant balance is okay, and I'm retaining the S, and 32 points is a good score. And if I play pikeys, I'm opening up the triple word square, and I'm providing floaters. So, do I play eek for 32? I think so. Quite nice. Inching closer towards a bingo. I've blocked tailspin down from the T. Can't see anything beginning with the G. Eek takes the P in front, but I can't see anything. Can't see anything beginning with the C. So, my P is the scoring tile. And I need to sort out the duplicate I. And I'm 14 points behind, so pretty close. My P can go above the A of Zoea, but I can't get rid of my duplicate I in that spot. I don't have to play the P, it's just that the P is my scoring tile. So I'm going to struggle to score if I don't play it. Well, what about playing spin? $22 points. It takes a lot of hooks after it. So what about playing spale? Rack leave, quite nice. Spale takes an S, if spale itself is good, and I think it is. The J and the Z have gone, so this A next to a triple letter square is not as dangerous as it could be. 24 points, quite a good score. Okay, I'm going with this. Pretty awful pick up. No vowels, just 4 consonants. Not too many vowels on the board. Through an E, I would have spindles. I lead just 10 points. Okay, it's gone, but that could have been worse. I draw a second S, which, although it's not great because second S's generally aren't, and I would have preferred a vowel, it does at least mean that my opponent hasn't got an S, but going on the end of spale, just the one S to come. 8 minutes on my clock, 31 tiles in the bag. If takes an S, so my S's are useful. But a tricky board, because I'm not seeing anything obvious which scores well. However, what about pill? Given that I'm keeping an S for spill, it doesn't provide an awful lot for my opponent. 12 points is dismal, and keeping 4 consonants is dismal. What about playing pills? 14 points, a much better rack lead, 3 consonants rather than 4, and I've still got the S front hook for pills. 14 points. What would lips score in column 11? Better. But then I'm blocking a bingo lane. However, I don't need a bingo. So, lips 20 points, which is better than the pills score. Okay, it kills a bingo lane, but I think we'll just be reduced to a ladder up to the top right, which will keep me in contention and also distract away from the S hook for spale. So if I can but draw a few vowels, or a couple of vowels, I could be bingoing lips for 20. What about dips instead? Scores more, doesn't take a front hook. Dips for 22. It would be nice to split up the L and the N as well. Especially the L, since there's an L on the board. I'm going with this. Not a good pickup. Just the U, and I'm only 3 points ahead. Let me look at the remaining vowel situation. Only one A. 13 vowels out of 34, so quite a dry bag for vowels. No scoring tiles on my rack. Great, only 18 points for my opponent, and he hasn't blocked my spales hook. I could play knurl here, and then the U is quite handy since I have no other vowels and it goes well with the N. And I'm taking out a lot of the scoring potential around dips. So I'm going with this. Promising. I do draw my 2 vowels. Is there a bingo here? Ah, my opponent has the bingo. He's now got a bingo lead. And he's provided no floaters. Knurl has taken out the floating D. So any other lanes on this board? Can't see any. So I need to open a lane. Now my M can go underneath the O. But the difficulty with opening a lane at the bottom is keeping it open. 4 minutes on my clock, 12 tiles to come. I think the easiest way of keeping it open would be to play in column 8, and thus provide my opponent with slim pickings. So what about playing Onium for 24, keeping ARS. I'm going with this. Well, the vowels are coming out to play. Quite a nice rack. 8 tiles to come. I'm really struggling with opening a second bingo lane. And there's nothing I can do at the top to open a lane. Now, what about a play running over the top of knurl? This rack plus a D. Okay, well, that doesn't totally block the M. I'm 72 points behind, 6 tiles in the bag, 4 minutes on my clock. Now, is erotemas good, or is there an anagram? Erotemas doesn't play, but I'm not sure it's good anyway. Let me just check it. Okay, so it is valid, and I suspect, therefore, that it is a singleton bingo, and my opponent has done the right thing in blocking it. Do I have a play with this rack plus a D? Don't think so. So 6 tiles left. Now, row K is a bingo lane through the O, so I do have a second bingo lane. Not many vowels in the bag, but I do need to sort out the vowels on my rack. So if I play off O and E, I'm leaving myself with rates, which is a very good rack leave. I don't want to block the O of onium or the D of dips. It would be nice to score, but I'm going to struggle by playing off just O and E. And I need to play fairly quickly because I've only got 2 minutes left. So I mustn't play down the bottom or up at the top. Playing off O and E. Well, I can do that with Rego for 13. Okay, so I have Massacre beginning with the M. Blocked. Do I have anything through the D? 1 tile in the bag. Pretty horrendous. Remaining tiles, 2 minutes on my clock. So Estrades is blocked. Dearests doesn't go. Okay, what about the O? Do I have anything through the O, or indeed the N? 1 minute on my clock. Can't see anything. So what tile to jettison? Probably the S. So Ains and Alls, only 1 minute on my clock, 16 points. I think I'm still got a chance of winning if I can bingo. Is there a third anagram? Asserted, I think, is the third anagram with the D, and that doesn't go. 1 minute on my clock. Have I missed any bingo lanes? Don't think so. Well, column 15 ending USS. Not many of those. I'm going with this. I draw the X. So, I don't think there's going to be a bingo. Nothing with the O or the N. Do I have a massive X spot? Well, what about row O? 6-letter play, X something S. Can't see anything. Well, I can't see a play with X in 4th place. I do have exerts with X in 2nd place. My opponent may struggle to go out in 2. So what does exert score? 47 points. Okay. It's not completely over yet. That stays available. My opponent is not going out next go with this. I'm running out of time. The trouble with playing exerts is my opponent then just plays Vex. So, play taxes instead. He's still got Vex. 30 seconds on my clock. So I've just got an A left, and I should have played taxes to have G's. Okay, I didn't do that. I don't think it would win, because my opponent, I think, will play Vex. I've got 14 seconds left. So I've got Da and Da. Wan and Na for 8. And the final score, 358 to me, 378 to my opponent, a winning margin of 20 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Okay. It was my opponent to go first. He played Taha. I didn't have a bingo. I played Blart. That looks fine. Opponent plays Zoea, and here are all the vowels coming out at the beginning. I get off to a nice start with Agistors. Opponent still has the vowels, plays Agio, and now I have a tricky rack. I didn't see Oh Yes with 32, quite nice. Instead I played U for 10 fewer points with a slightly better rack leave. Oh Yes would have opened up column 1, so not much between those, and U does take out some useful floaters. Opponent plays G's. Very tricky rack here. F1, double E. Okay, what did I do? I played Hey for 25. I think that has merit. Opponent plays Icy. Now, Eek, playable for 43. I didn't see that at this point. D11, Cheese and Blarts. Yep, pretty good. What did I do? Ooh, that's bad. Cheese would certainly have been better for 32 points. Opponent plays Haloid. Now, I12, Eek, that was my play. Horrible rack for my opponent, and he's behind. He plays if and only if. E8. Ah. How does that work? E8. Oh, with the T of Taha running across there. I saw that I had blocked Tailspin coming down from the T of Agistors, but it was playable higher up. Well, that's annoying. Okay. So there was a bingo there, and that would have come at a really good time. I was only 14 points behind, and it would have blocked the board up. Instead, I do Spale for 24. And look, my opponent had a Grim Rack. How annoying. He plays Vane. Now I suffer from a vowel shortage. I played Dips. My opponent has Inbound, nowhere for it. Plays Unbid. I have this horror show. I play Knurl. In Run, D11. Yep. Not much between those. And then my opponent has a nice rack and has a choice of bingos. Great, I didn't miss a bingo here, but look at this. Ruminant playable through the Eye of Tonings for 33 points. I play Onium for 24. My opponent plays Mew. Okay, this isn't looking good. J1, Roseate running underneath the entirety of unbid, and Earstone running through the T. Okay, well, so there were bingo opportunities at the end there, both quite high probability words. I didn't consider the lane running underneath unbid, and I clearly didn't consider the N floater at this point. Well, what a shame, because the rest of the rack is pretty grim, that would have been a close finish. So I play Rego, opponent plays Mur. Great, not a third miss bingo. I play Oars, opponent plays Wow. And yeah, there wasn't anything great in row O, nothing which got the X doubled. Opponent plays Ted, and then K7. K7. Oh, putting the A this side of the N. Yep. Okay, well, a narrow loss, and I think the missed bingos clearly had an effect. Tailspin would have been quite significant and would have given me a good lead, and Roseate and Earstone would have made things very close at the end, and with the grimness of the tiles in the bag, I think could well have been enough to get me over the line, although I may have drawn some of those horrid tiles and not won, but it would still have been nice to have spotted those bingos and played them. Anyway, an interesting game. I hope you enjoyed watching that, and I will see you next time.